Promising news on the pandemic today. Pfizer said a new study confirms its pill to treat COVID-19 is highly effective in reducing hospitalizations and deaths, and also delivers protection against the Omicron variant. That news comes on the one-year anniversary of the first vaccinations here in the United States. The country's healthcare workers among the first to roll up their sleeves. The country also marking really a grim milestone. More than 800,000 have died since the start of the pandemic. Members of Congress are planning to honor the lives lost with a moment of silence. NewsNation correspondent Kelly Meyer is live in Washington, D.C. tonight. And Kelly, this no doubt will be a somber scene at the Capitol.
Absolutely, Aaron. And in just moments, members of Congress will hold this moment of silence here on the Capitol steps to mark the grim milestone. 800,000 Americans lost to COVID-19. And Aaron, we're learning 75% of those who have died were 65 or older. Scientists are warning we're not out of this pandemic yet. The White House bracing for a wave of new cases. Omicron now in 34 states. Today, the World Health Organization warning Omicron is spreading much faster than previous coronavirus variants. The CDC says while Omicron may be less severe, people can still get sick. Pfizer today announcing a new COVID-19 pill they say is 90% effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths in high-risk coronavirus patients. The FDA could authorize the pills by the end of the year. The breakthrough coming just 1 year after the first Pfizer vaccine was first administered in New York. The White House says more people are getting their shots, though some 40% are still not fully vaccinated. The administration says it's focusing on doing more to make sure Americans get their booster shots as the CDC monitors an uptick in cases, reporting an average 120,000 Americans are testing positive every day. Important to note, Aaron, the Pfizer CEO saying today the new pill to treat COVID-19 shouldn't be seen as a replacement to the coronavirus vaccine. And here you can see members of Congress coming out on the steps, taking that moment of silence to mark those 800,000 lives lost to the coronavirus pandemic. Aaron?
Kelly, as we're still taking a live look here of what is happening there on the steps, how many politicians do you expect to be there? And again, this milestone is something that it's important to bring up, but it's also extremely grim, 800,000. How many members of Congress do you expect to be there tonight?
Well, we are expecting several members, maybe as many as 50 members of Congress could be out there tonight coming out. We see Speaker Nancy Pelosi, I believe you could see there. I know it's getting dark, but I know she's expected to be there, of course, leading this. Senator Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader. We also are expecting the Republican leader from the House, Kevin McCarthy. Those three names leading. You should see them up front, along with members of Congress. And it's important to know it's bipartisan there on the steps. This is an issue that doesn't see one party, Democrat or Republican. So we are seeing members of Congress whose districts have been impacted across the country. So we're seeing the members coming out on the steps tonight on this Tuesday night, getting out of Congress, out of session here to come out and light the Capitol steps here to mark this milestone here, Aaron.
Yeah, Kelly, we continue to mark these milestones. It's really surreal to think about March 2020 when those first cases of the coronavirus started to come out, and now we're talking about several different variants. It's clear to see here, and I'd like you to chime in here, Kelly, about how members of Congress are also feeling the weight of nearly 2 years of a pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. This is something that we've been covering here with them for the past 2 years, trying to find ways to help their constituents make their way through this, to covering these vaccines as well as testing and making sure that they keep their constituents safe. It's been something they're having to navigate at home in their districts and here in the Capitol, as we've seen different mask mandates go through, as well as different vaccines here and testing requirements. So we are watching here as they are marking this milestone here on Capitol Hill, but these members have been talking about this and finding ways to help their members throughout these past 2 years with different pieces of legislation. It's been front of mind for them throughout these past 2 years, Aaron, something they've been having to deal with and continue to deal with. As we say, we are not out of this pandemic yet, and they are continuing to face these new cases and now growing cases in some of their states.
Kelly Meyer reporting for us out of Washington, D.C. Kelly, thank you so much. We'll continue to monitor that moment of silence at Congress as 800,000 people have now died of COVID-19. Kelly, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.